Hi everybody, my name is Vince Dowd and I'm here at the Amrit Yoga Institute. I'm one of the relationship coordinators and it's my pleasure to have with us today Chandrakant, who has been with Gurudev and actually the Amrit Yoga Institute for quite some time. So first of all, welcome Chandrakant.
Thank you.
And I'd like to hear a little bit about, well, what do you call yourself here at the Amrit Institute?
Well, myself personally, because of the amount of time that I've been involved with Gurudev and the integrated Amrit method, my personal point of view is I don't think of myself as a yoga teacher. The authentic teachings of yoga, from my point of view, are intended to reveal that which you truly are. So I don't see any way possible to teach somebody how to be what they already are. So I think of myself as a revealer, and all that I really do, in a sense, from my point of view, is orchestrate understanding and experience to reveal to others what has been revealed to me.
Fantastic. And how many years have you been revealing?
Well, it's certainly gone through a number of transitions, and I've been with Gurudev longer than I care to admit, and it's been through many stages. But I suppose coming here into Salt Springs, I guess 2002, 2003, things started to be revealed to me, and I guess in the last 5 years, through some of the energetic exchanges with Gurudev, dimensions opened up that I had no idea of when I first got started long time ago.
Wow. Well, you know, I just got to compliment you because I've been doing yoga or asanas since 2003. And I guess like you say, it's the Western style yoga. And I liked Shavasana because that's where I had low stress, you know, for that 1 30-second period. And I wanted to have more of that. So when I came to the Amrit Yoga Institute, I did not know what I was in for.
Yeah, me either, right?
And I got to say, you know, I've this morning I was at your yoga class and I've been at many of them, and I've never had such a powerful experience of prana or this energy force like I have with you. So whatever you do, you bring it out, and I get to feel that, my own energy and the energy around me. And I would love to just ask you, like a lot of people out there that are watching this at home might think, I've heard of prana. That's a brand on a yoga mat or a t-shirt. And that's what I thought. But really my question is, what is prana? If somebody doesn't know, what is this prana that we talk about?
Well, like with many terms in yoga, understanding has a beginning, middle, and end. So what I'm going to say about prana is just a beginning kind of description, because it's something that through direct perception begins to evolve into something greater than just being described as the vital life force. You know, we can understand that this body has energy in it, because if somebody was dead here, you know, no zzz. So we understand that in some way, this thing that animates life, the vital life force, is energy. And in yoga speak, another word for energy is prana. So in a very simple way, it's the vital life force that has its own innate intelligence, that when you cut yourself, it heals. When you break bones, it heals. It makes your digestion go. It makes your breath go. It has an intelligence that when attuned to through the techniques and devices of yoga, creates the condition where it not only works at the autonomic nervous system level, it also becomes a way of life, as opposed to running your life, shaping your zzzt by just constantly thinking yourself into one predicament after another. Does that make sense?
It does. In fact, I find that my whole life I've been a thinker and a doer. Mm-hmm. And coming here, they talked about being a feeler and being a beer. Mm-hmm. And I can see the balance with that is so powerful. And I want more of that. In fact, you know, I'm on this journey, however long down the road
Right.
I'm on it. But for me personally, I'm sure for people out here, what would you suggest to really create that connection with the prana? Because I mean, it's there, like you say, you're revealing what's already there, but for some reason, maybe it's because our eyes are pointed out instead of pointed in that we miss it. But how could we connect with that? What would you suggest?
Well, I think one of the uniquenesses of the integrated Amrit method from my point of view, and again, it has a beginning, middle, and end, and certainly we create a firm foundation where the energetic physics is one of energy following attention. Okay, so where you direct your attention, energy goes. And many people who do yoga, and there's even a little bumper sticker, you know, they will tell you, well, I just put up with this so I can do Shavasana. You know, they have a bumper, I'd rather be in Shavasana. Well, as we make a conscious crossover from the sort of beginning elements to a little bit more refined elements of yoga, the physics changes, and we actually structure classes by beginning what you're doing it for. So in the classes that you were taking, we start where Shavasana leaves off. And the energetic physics of that consciously crossing over is that attention is following energy, so that you are so relaxed, you are in that being center, you are so still that it's very, very easy to recognize raw sensation. Not emotions that are interpreted kinds of sensations, but raw sensation. And through the techniques that we present to guide you along the way, you are actually able to begin to move in an accordance with prana, so that, in a sense, prana is a little bit out in the front and your mind is behind, where many styles of popular American yoga is mind is out in front. It's a one-size-fits-all kind of class. And as you can see from your own experience, we're moving from one-size-fits-all to an individual expression of your vital life force, enabling you to release what needs to be released because you're deeply, deeply relaxed.
That's fantastic. In fact, you know, when I think about yoga from the past, I think about the poses, the asanas, and getting your leg around your head and doing these balance moves. And when I came to Amrit, I realized that that's really not what this is about. You don't have to be this flexible person, and you may never get there.
Correct.
Because that's not really the whole aspect of yoga.
Well, there's certainly, you understand that there are many more aspects to Patanjali's 8 limbs than just asana. And oftentimes, and I think Yoga Journal wrote, I was surprised to see this article in Yoga Journal. I mean, we don't really consider too much where these positions came from. And sometimes if you dig down a little bit, people say, oh, yogis watched animals, or actually they came from deep states of meditation. So that the old guys, the ancients, in their way, went into deep states of meditation where they were, there was an attunement with the vital life force, and they found that their body began to move into these unusual positions. And what we've done is we think that if we continue to do those unusual positions, we will be able to work ourselves back to the meditative state. But what we do with the integrated Amrit method is we start with the meditative state and let the vital life force express itself as it needs, just like the ancients were doing in the old days. It may not be as dramatic, it may not be as grandiose, but it is actually doable for you to attune to the vital life force in such a way that you recognize that prana is moving your body, not mentally, which verifies the truth described in the scriptures of I am is not the doer.
That's so powerful. In fact, I didn't understand really what that meant, especially coming here. I wasn't sure what it meant that prana would move me. And I think it was you, or perhaps it was Gurudev, I don't remember, but they said it's kind of like in the morning when you wake up and you do a stretch. You don't really think about it.
Correct.
you do a move and and it comes out.
Correct.
And when you link that to prana being this expression of energetic release that maybe was stuck in my body at night or whatever, and I feel that, then I could actually link that this is happening all the time if we allow it to move us and to get us into flow.
Well, one of the unique aspects of what Gurudev has created, from my point of view, is in the traditions there's usually been two paths: this nirvritti path, the cessation of action, and the pravritti path. And it was usually called, the householder path. So if you're sort of a slouch and you can't really be a renunciate, you be a householder until you can get that together, okay? And I never really I thought, why would, the polarity that we see yin and yang, up and down, why would the polarity be so lopsided that it was only this way and not that way? And I was reading one of the Munis in our tradition, and he described the pravritti path as the path of engagement. So in a sense, what Gurudev has crafted by using kriya, the motions prompted by prana, is you learn how to be involved with the path of engagement, but without getting caught in the entanglements of mind and, oh my God, what am I going to do? I did this wrong. The people who are in the nirvritti path have renounced specific actions because they don't want to get caught. All right, we're not doing that anymore. The people who are on the path of engagement, which is most of us, we have to have an understanding, a technique, a map to how we can negotiate being involved in engagements, in actions. Gita says you're always involved in action, and not get caught. So the map that Gurudev describes and that you experience is you start in the being center. That's why we start with Yoga Nidra. We don't start with, just doing poses, brief centering. We drop down into being what you are doing it for, that stillness, the being center. It's very, very easy to recognize what you said was these prior to thinking raw sensations that you are able to move in accordance with without going into a lot of hubbub and to do. When you can recognize through buddhi, discrimination, that you are established in the being center and the feeling center, any thought that spontaneously arises, because you're not trying to make anything happen, you're not trying to get away from anything, you're not you're just in the being center, any thought that comes with that, move with that as though it's an appropriate co-creative harmony with the being and the feeling center. So now we have a way to take yoga, this medicine for the felt sense of separation from the divine, because the energy of the divine is prana, to utilize being, feeling, and thinking as an integrative, co-creative harmony.
Wow, that's great. In fact, what I do like, and you mentioned the Yoga Nidra, because Yoga Nidra, I had never understood what that was, and then experiencing it was so powerful, of that Shavasana state, but even deeper. And the way you start us there in this peaceful stillness, and then coming out of that, the pranic moves, is just so powerful. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, this is unbelievable in regard to just how you really feel at one and aligned with the entire process of yoga. And I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that maybe have never experienced anything like this. They've done the Western pose, the nice pants yoga or whatever you want to call it.
Gotta look good.
Gotta look good, competing on the mat.
Yeah.
But, I just finished level 1 immersion, which you were part of that teacher training too. And I loved that. And here you're doing this program this week called Prana Awakening. We have so many programs like that. But if somebody's out there watching and they're interested in finding out more about prana or yoga teacher training, or even Yoga Nidra, which is becoming very big for, I know science is studying it on how it heals and so many things. What would you tell somebody that maybe they don't know much about yoga, or maybe they are on a path trying to find a place they can really resonate with? What would you say to them?
Well, Gurudev has described Amrit Yoga. He says everything we do in Amrit Yoga is about prana, period. So whether it's at the welcome weekend, introductory weekends, the immersion in the more posture side of things, you know, the level 1 immersion or the conscious, all of those, even our Ayurvedic programs, everything is attuned to prana. And I personally believe that we have capable and competent teachers and presenters here who can make this accessible at any level of understanding, through not only just descriptions, understanding, but through direct perception and experience. So there's a combination in all of our programs where it's a combination of understanding plus experience, and it equals a change in perspective about yourself. So that any program that you come to, the intention is to introduce this notion of prana, make it experientially doable for you, so that when you leave, you know something about yourself that you didn't know before, and it's at the more energetic level as opposed to just the mental and physical level. So I would say choose any program. You know, I feel confident in saying that we have skilled and experienced teachers to help, and certainly ask any questions you want.
That's fantastic. In fact, I want to compliment you on your sense of humor, because when you teach, there is a little humor in there, and for me, that engages me because I'm the type that enjoys a little bit of humor. But it's powerful because it takes you on that journey, and it gets engagement. If we start getting up here, it brings us back. So I appreciate that, and you know, I want to again thank you very much for taking the time out, because I know you're really busy, and you know, taking the time out to share not only with me personally, but also with everybody at home viewing.
Got it.
And I would say, hey, check out what we have, guys. It's amazing. There's a link somewhere on this video. We have all kinds of programs coming up. And who knows, maybe you'll meet Chandrakant live. I'd like to meet you live, but the fact is, it's a great place. And we look forward to seeing you at the Amrit Yoga Institute. Thanks again.
Have a good one.